So tell us about your stay at the Jules Undersea facility. How long are you going to be there? What are your goals? What's a day in the life like? What is it when you wake up in the morning? What do you do? Are you going outside diving, or is it all your time spent inside? Give us the scoop on what's going on right now.
So I'll be here for 100 days. And what I'm doing down here is threefold. I'm doing a whole bunch of outreach, and we're talking with kids in schools, trying to get them excited about STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. And I want them to be like, hey, you can be a scientist and be cool too. You know, it's not like you have to just be in beakers and microscopes, right? You see, you get me. I knew you did, right? So if you can incentivize these kids to do something, and, you know, like talking with all these fifth graders and sixth graders, it's the greatest thing in the world. The second thing is I'm talking with a bunch of my friends that are in the undersea realm, right? Ichthyologists, marine scientists. I have a sponge researcher right now, microbiologist, and we're trying to talk about preservation, protection, and rejuvenation of the marine environment, because it's important that this particular place gives us between 50 and 70% of the oxygen on our planet, and we need to take care of it. So that's just Joe's opinion, but I get to use this showcase to have people who are experts in their field tell everybody about what they're doing and what they're doing to change the world. And third and final is the biomedical research aspect. So I get up in the morning, I do urine, I do saliva, I do blood samples, looking at the microscope, sending it off, looking for brain-derived neurotropic factor, insulin growth factor, all of these little, like, oh, it's so boring. It's crazy. Blood pressure, EEGs, EKGs on myself, right? Because, you know, nobody else wants to do this on me, right? So, but I do science for about, I don't know, 10 hours a day. I do like 5 hours of outreach, and then I go for like an hour swim. Thankfully, I get to do a little working out because I have the bands, and I've been working that compensatory thing. And then I'm testing new things. Like we're testing an AI for a scientist who got a contract with NASA, quote unquote. I don't know. I didn't see the contract. And it's for an artificial intelligence that's going to be a tricorder-like thing. It's going to scan over your body. It's going to tell you, hey, look, I believe you have, left ejection fraction is less than 25%. We suggest you start, whatever. Yeah. So,
Dr. McCoy.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know.
Right. So
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool. But I get to go out every day. I get to swim around, and I do because I like the ocean life, right? I get lobster that's outside my window. His name is Fred. I got all kinds of fish that I go visit. I'm looking for the elusive seahorse. Still haven't found him yet, but we will.
So, when I was staying in the Aquarius habitat, like we couldn't just go straight up in case of an emergency. You have to do decompression. So and we were, I don't know if you're scuba diving or helmet diving, but we were helmet diving, and we had little cupolas underwater that were little air bubbles that were our emergency place to go in case, our hose got tangled or we ran out of air. What kind of emergency procedures do you guys have?
There's one of those, but it's not something that people generally go to. So I take a bottle with me. I have a come home bottle that I have that comes with me everywhere I go. It's one of these, like, look, and I'm scuba, and it's shallow. It's more shallow than yours. I mean, I think we're at the bone crushing depth of 22 feet. I mean, I've been to Aquarius. It's it is what it is. It's small. So.
But at 22 feet, though, most people who are knowledgeable on scuba diving, you can go down to 22 feet for an hour and you don't have to do anything. You probably don't even have to do a safety stop on the way up. But if you live down there for 100 days, you are now saturated with nitrogen. So if you had a appendectomy, there's a process you have to go through in order to come back to the surface, right?
And the sad part is nobody knows that. So here I am doing their third order partial differential equations, and you're basically calculating M values on bone tissue saturation. Because at this point, it's not the other tissues in your body, it's the bone. It's the ones that are poorly perfused tissues. So those, the bone and the cartilage, you're trying to figure out what their saturation rates are. And the answer is nobody knows. And everybody's rolling dice. So, we're making stuff up I'm literally calculating this as we go along. But the good thing is 15 days ago, I just got issued my US patent. So, and that is on heart rate variability and how the autonomic nervous system is stressed. So I can detect decompressive stress prior to symptoms being shown. I can detect detect
Really?
hypercapnic stress. I can detect oxidative stress. So when the when the autonomic nervous system is stressed, I can detect that prior to symptomology coming on, and I proved it so much so.
Is that something that a recreational diver would eventually someday, just strap on?
Yeah, that could.
Is
put
it
into
a
the
small
dive
device like a
tables.
Fitbit or something? Where it goes, hey, not only are we calculating that you're making a mistake here, your body's telling me that you're making a mistake here.
Exactly. And what I've done, so it's a really teeny device at this point because it's all computer chip at this point. So, my initial prototype was obviously, the size of my hand, but this is like the size of a watch, for crying out loud. And what I did is I put a little cell phone vibrator in it. So now it goes bzz, 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 every time you're messing up and you're going and decompressing too shallow. So it's not perfectly ready for prime time. It's just got a patent 2 weeks ago. So
Cool.